morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, St. Andrew farmer dies after machete attack in Mount Industry. The St. Andrew North Police are probing the death of a man who succumbed to chop wounds sustained during an altercation with another man in their community of Mount Industry in Gordon Town. Dead is 29-year-old farmer Akeem Brown, who died on Monday, a day after the incident. Reports are that about 9:45 p.m. on Sunday, July 20, Brown was involved in an altercation with a community member. During the altercation, the man reportedly used a machete to chop Brown repeatedly. He was assisted to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was admitted. He died the following day. 3 men charged in $9.3 million ganja bust in Toms River, charges pending against the Haitian men. The police are reporting that 3 men have been arrested and charged following the seizure of 3,000 pounds of ganja valued at $9.3 million in Toms River, located at the border of St. Mary and St. Andrew. They have described the seizure as another step forward in the clampdown on the illicit guns for drugs trade. At the same time, charges are pending against the 2 Haitian men who were also taken into custody, charged with 2 counts each of possession of ganja, dealing in ganja, taking steps preparatory to export ganja, trafficking ganja, and the conspiracy to traffic ganja are 50-year-old Heron Brown, a farmer of Burton District, St. Elizabeth, 30-year-old Wade Richards, a vendor of Thompson Pen, St. Catherine, and the 28-year-old Delroy Wilson of St. Margaret's Bay, Portland. The police report that around 9 p.m. on July 18, members of the Firearms and the Narcotics Investigation Division Special Operations Team intercepted 2 motor vehicles in Toms River. According to the police, one of the vehicles was occupied by Wilson and the 2 Haitians, while the remaining men were in the second vehicle. A thorough search of the vehicles reportedly uncovered over 350 parcels of ganja. All 5 men were arrested, with Brown, Richards, and Wilson subsequently charged. The police stated that this latest seizure forms a part of a broader, ongoing effort by the constabulary force to disrupt the criminal networks. Since the start of the year, over 40,000 pounds of ganja, valued at $121 million, have been seized. Additionally, more than 1,700 pounds of cocaine, valued at over $405 million, have also been intercepted. Acting Senior Superintendent Petria Rowe, Director of FNID, noted that these large-scale drug seizures are directly linked to the guns for drugs trade affecting the island. These drugs act as a currency to arm criminals with weapons. The value of the drugs seized so far this year exceeds $500 million. If not intercepted, this could have potentially placed more than 400 rifles or over 800 handguns into the hands of hardened criminals in Jamaica. That is why we have heightened the vigilance and enhanced our operations surrounding these drugs. They are traded for the weapons of choice in committing murders. Rowe is again appealing to the public to share information on illegal drugs and firearms by contacting the FNID at 876-923-6184, Crime Stop at 311, the National Intelligence Bureau at 811, the Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. U.S. accused of ultimate betrayal against the reformed Jamaican labeled barbaric deported to Africa. The Jamaican man, who was among 5 barbaric criminals deported from the United States to a South African nation, earned a bachelor's degree in prison, was enrolled in a master's program, and well on the way to rebuilding his life, a U.S. media report has revealed. The New York Carib News identified the Jamaican as Orville Estoria in an op-ed piece published on Tuesday. Estoria was convicted on May 15, 1997 of murder in the second degree and criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree according to online records of his 1999 appeal. The appeal was dismissed and the online records did not provide the details of Estoria's crime. U.S. Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin disclosed that the Jamaican and the 4 other immigrants who were deported to the Southern African Kingdom of Eswatini were all convicted criminals and individuals so uniquely barbaric that their home countries refused to take them back. The Jamaican government has denied that it refused to accept the deported citizens. The New York Carib News op-ed piece suggested that Estoria spent time at the Sing Sing Correctional Facility, the infamous maximum security prison based in upstate New York, where he began a trailblazing academic journey before his ultimate betrayal by American authorities. He earned his bachelor's degree through the Hudson Link for higher education in prison and the New York-based Mercy College, and later enrolled in a master's program at the New York Theological Seminary. The report said Estoria graduated in 2018 as part of the largest college commencement ever held inside the prison, a milestone so significant it was formally recognized and celebrated by Mercy College. When Orville walked that graduation stage, he carried generations with him, stated the report. He was granted parole in 2021, something hard-won and rare in New York State, it noted. He was rebuilding his life, but recently the U.S. deported him not to Jamaica, his home, but to Eswatini. This isn't enforcement, this is exile. He's not locked away again, not because he failed, but because he succeeded too quietly, the report said. It noted that Estoria's 2018 graduation was acknowledged and celebrated by educators, public officials, prison administrators, and his peers. And yet, despite all that, they labeled him barbaric. This is the ultimate betrayal to praise a man's growth while quietly plotting his removal. America celebrated Orville when it needed a good story. Then it discarded him when it no longer did. Opposition urges government to begin talks with JPS on new electricity license. Opposition spokesman on energy, Philip Paulwell, has called for Energy Minister Darrell Vaz to immediately begin negotiations with the Jamaica Public Service regarding adjustments to its distribution license. The government recently announced its decision not to renew the JPS license when it expires on July 8, 2027. The government says reviewing the all-island electricity license for the JPS under the current terms would place the country at a disadvantage. It blames the economic struggles facing businesses and consumers on the high cost of electricity. But Mr. Paulwell says the government should not wait until 2027 to start negotiations for a new license.
But if the minister believes that the JPS license is the reason for the high price, why doesn't the minister deal with the JPS license now? Why wait for 2 more years? In fact, there are precedents for adjusting of licenses. I did it 40 years before the telecommunications license was to expire, and both the JLP government and the PNP government have amended the JPS license from time to time. In fact, in 2016, I amended it to allow for the introduction of liquefied natural gas and also to effect changes to street lighting so that we can use more energy efficient bulbs. So, Minister, why not deal with the high price of electricity now? Why are you electioneering on this matter, which is so crucial to the future of our development?
Transport operators demand the installation of bathrooms and shelters at the Discovery Bay Transport Center. Transport operators who apply the Discovery Bay to St. Anne's Bay, Falmouth, and the Brownstown routes are threatening to withdraw their services if their requests for improved infrastructure are not forthcoming. The operators are calling for bathrooms and shelters to be installed at the transport center in Discovery Bay, St. Anne. They say the St. Anne Municipal Corporation had declared a piece of land for the boarding and the drop-off of passengers earlier this year after they were locked out of 2 private properties which were being used to facilitate operations. The drivers say there is a pressing need for adequate infrastructure as drivers and the passengers are greatly inconvenienced by weather conditions, especially rainfall. They are appealing to the municipal corporation to move quickly to stave off protest action. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.